Welcome back, everybody. Thursday morning edition of Hot Mic rolls on. Jacob Holman, Minot North, head football coach, will join us about a half hour after the Sentinels have their first varsity practice. That's coming up later on in our show this morning. Mention as we're getting practices going, North Dakota high school football practice starting today. The Vikings are already 2.5 weeks in. They have their first game. The Bison and UND have been going. By the way, Bubba Schweigert will join us on the program tomorrow, give us the recap of the first basically 2 weeks of fall camp for UND. The Cobbers will get going next week along with the Dragons, so then everybody's into the pool as we get ready for the 2024 season. It's our pleasure to have the starting quarterback of the other Moorhead team across the road. We had the Dragons QB yesterday. We got the Cobbers QB today. Cooper Mattern joins us this morning, back for his third year as the starter at Concordia, which is crazy. I'm an old man. I'm talking about high school football practice. Your fondest memories of that, of getting going? Obviously, playing with your dad has to be right at the top.
Yeah, I mean, that's what comes to mind right away, playing for him. Watching him coach growing up and then getting to do that for 4 years and playing for 2 was great. But it's your childhood best friends, right? I mean, you get to play with them. You're playing with them in FM athletics all the way through, and then you finally get to play under the lights on Fridays. Those fall camp days seem long, but then you get into college and you realize they're really not that long. So no, it's definitely good memories. I mean, I still keep in touch with the core group of those guys. One of them still playing college football, so we keep in touch. Nice. And then all the other guys, just looking back on those memories and those Friday nights, nothing better than that.
All right, Troy's on the show all the time. You got to give us an inside story, like good fall. You have a good fall camp story you can share with us that people may not know.
Oh, geez, let me think here. There's people always ask me what it was like, coaching or him coaching me,
yeah.
Dad coach and all that. And there was one practice in fall camp, and God, something along the lines of it was a broken play, right? And I kind of stopped running and maybe threw my hands up and was like, what the heck's going on here? And he didn't like that. So he kind of got on me. And let's just say I didn't take any more snaps for the offense until special teams was done for that day. And yeah, that's like the only time where it really happened, where I kind of had to like stop practicing, which was because I mean, if he doesn't get on me, he can't get on anyone else.
That's
so
exactly right.
That's one that sticks out. But that's kind of a funny story that we look back on now.
Well, now I got to ask him on the other half of that, so we'll make sure we do that. It's great to see you. I know getting ready for this last run as a college quarterback. Describe the offseason and what it's like. People know, Cooper, what Division I players do. I think even but for Division II, what is it like for Division III? Are you guys working out as much as the other guys?
Yeah, so at the Division III level, nothing's quote unquote mandatory, right? So coaches can't be there and telling us to be anywhere. So it kind of falls on us. It really does fall on us 100% of the time, which, it's good. It gets good and bad. It gives us some free time away from everything, but you also got to make sure that you're still getting that work in. So, we have a group chat and the captains, we're trying to push that. And we try to get to our field's under construction. So
yeah.
we're going on the grass fields next to the turf, and we're still trying to throw as much as we can and hit the weight room as much as we can during the week. A lot of us have jobs during the week. So for me, I would lift at Shanley before I'd coach there in the mornings. And then it's honestly just trying to find the time, and, we'll lift before we'll all go to work, and then we'll try to hit the fields at night. And that's really all you can do at our level. But yeah, since nothing's really mandatory.
How much for your teammates? Are they around? Are they guys that stick around, or are they going home in the summer?
When you get to be like my age, and juniors and seniors and guys who really play with experience, you learn that those are the guys that really stick around. When you're a freshman and it was your first year on the team, you want to go home and see your family. It's easy for me to say because I'm from here,
right?
But yeah, a lot of older guys will stay. I mean, we got guys from Arizona staying up here. A lot of guys from the small Minnesota towns that end up staying. I live with Max Soth, who's from Moorhead, so he stays. Owen Miller, he's from Aitkin, Minnesota. He's a receiver, and he stayed all summer. So, and then there's a couple other receivers who stayed all summer. So, it's really easy to text them and say, hey, let's go to the field, let's go throw. But yeah, once you get older, you see those guys stay, which is definitely what you need in the summer.
How much does that help? And do you think it will help, Coop, for this summer, for this season that you've worked all summer with guys that you're picking right up when fall camp starts next week?
Helps a lot. It definitely helps a lot. The continuity. Um, all four receivers that are going to play or going to start have stayed this summer, which helps. It definitely is a little more. I mean, we have a full month of fall camp, so you're
Yeah.
definitely going to get the reps you need. But it makes a difference seeing those guys weekly in the summer.
You mentioned about taking over experience-wise. I mean, you've done it all. You've seen it all. What are your own expectation level here for 2024?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely just getting over that hump, right? Because historically, the Maya at Concordia has been up there. And the past 2 years, we've been a 5-5 team, and I was actually just looking back at the scores from last year. And our first two losses, week one, we went to Wisconsin Eau Claire, and it was a 3-point game. We lost on a last second field
Yeah.
goal. And then Carleton, I think, was week four, and they've kind of had our number the past 2 years, and that was a 3 or 4 point game. So you look at those two games, and obviously you can't speculate, but that's the difference between 5-5 and 7-3.
Yep.
And to be up there, record wise, in the MIAC is definitely important, but that just goes to show how tightly competitive our games are, and needing to win those close ones.
The MIAC, you knew about it being from around here, but now you've lived it. Describe for
Yeah.
people that maybe don't see it or don't go or watch how good the level of football is every single week.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, growing up and even in high school, you didn't really have a good idea until you're able to go on some visits and some game
Right.
days and see the atmosphere. But historically in Division 3, the MIAC, and like I think the MIAC was ranked top 5 in strength of schedule last year in the whole country for Division 3. And it's kind of the MIAC and the Wisconsin League, the WIAC, that are going back and forth between those tough schedules. But it definitely is good football. I mean, we're playing ranked, like St. John's is ranked, nationally every year. Bethel's starting to get some rankings. Gustavus, they won the conference last year, or they were in the conference championship game. So I mean, they're a good team, and I mean, we're playing against, Division 1 bounce backs,
Yep.
few weeks here and there, and some guys who are getting some NFL looks. So I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm not going to say we're going to go play Division 1 schools, but it's still good football. It's competitive football, and we definitely have fun doing it.
With the now expansion of the playoff this year is going from 32 to 40 teams, you feel like, okay, we win 7 games, we got a heck of a chance to make it?
Yeah, it's fun to think about because the MIAC, like we were just talking
Yeah.
about, good conference. So conference winners obviously get an automatic bid. So you get 27 conferences that are automatically in the playoffs, and that leaves a good number out that are getting at large bids. So I mean, MIAC usually sends 2. I don't know if they've ever. I assume they've never sent 3, but you like to think
Yeah.
that if a Bethel or a St. John's or us were to win the conference, that it's hard to leave out, a third, just because our strength of schedule is so good, and we're playing playoff teams essentially every week, playoff caliber teams every week when you play the really good teams within the conference. So it's definitely something to look forward to, and something that's in the back of our minds.
And anytime you get a Wisconsin team to come your place, you got Eau Claire, you guys got to be, especially how it went last year, you got to be chomping at the bit for game 1.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that game last year, that was a great atmosphere. School hadn't started yet, so their student section wasn't there yet.
Oh.
But they threw their marching band right behind our right behind our sideline. When I tell you those sideline huddles, man, like it was tough to hear, even on the headset with Coach Pollock in between drives. Like they would play. It seemed like they played that band at just the right time every time. But no, they I'm sure they'll travel well too. They have good football in Wisconsin, and it'll be a fun game. To get them at home for the home opener will be fun.
And then you got a cool road trip. Tell me about, Pacific Lutheran after that.
Yeah, so we got a home and home with them. So they came here to Moorhead last year.
Yep.
They're from Tacoma, Washington. So week 2, yeah, I think we're leaving on a Wednesday or a Thursday,
Okay.
which will be fun because small Division 3 football, we don't go out of
No.
state like ever. All our away games are either in the Minneapolis area. We went to Duluth last year for Scholastica.
Yep.
But yeah, it'll be fun. We'll get to leave midweek. We'll fly out of the cities.
Nice.
Yeah, land in Tacoma, stay in a hotel, and then I think we got the red eye back.
Oh.
So we'll land in Minneapolis around 4 or 5 a.m. and drive back to Moorhead and probably sleep all Sunday. I think there's some NFL football, so we might have to wake up a little afternoon and watch some football. But no, it'll be a fun trip, and I know the guys are looking forward
And
to it.
you got to be pumped about that. You mentioned all of you don't do that normally. Normally you're leaving Friday on a bus to go play, wherever in the cities. This is totally different than what you normally do. You guys got to be excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you can go out of the state and fly with your best friends and your teammates now, well, we're definitely looking forward to it.
You get St. John's at home as well. I know how close that game was last year too. You got to be just okay. If we're gonna get them, especially your senior year, you want them this time around.
Yeah, definitely. We've played them well, the past 2 years at their place, my sophomore year, and then last year at our place. Yeah, they're obviously historically they've been good. That hasn't changed since
Yeah.
I've been playing, and yeah, to get them at home and I know they got a lot of guys back offensively and defensively, so it'll be fun.
To see how Coach Horan has tailored the offense around not necessarily you, but you and the ability to throw the ball. How much has that made the transition easier to become a starting quarterback and say, we can get the ball down the field?
Yeah, it's definitely been fun and definitely made it a lot easier because I'm definitely not a triple option guy. And I knew coming in when I decided to come here that they were throwing the ball, 30, 40 times a game. And a lot of that goes to Coach Pollock, our offensive coordinator. His first year was actually last year. So he got promoted. He was our O-line coach my sophomore year, and he got promoted like 2 days before fall camp started. So my offensive coordinator sophomore year resigned, and then he got promoted, like I said, 2 days before last fall. So he didn't really get to implement a lot of his stuff that he wanted to. We kind of did as the season went on. So this last spring ball and then this fall is going to be 100% his scheme and his offense. So we're really looking forward to that. Keep throwing it around for sure.
Well, I'm looking at your stats last year. You ran for 524 yards and 7 Are you Lamar Jackson? What is that? I don't remember that part of your game.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I could always run a little bit, but no. Yeah, definitely some design runs. I mean, whether they're designed or not, getting out of the pocket a little bit, but maybe a little too much if you ask Coach Rand and Coach Pollock. No, but it's fun. Yeah, I mean, few design quarterback runs and throughout the week and see where that takes us.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Give me your best expectation wise. Like I know you want to win, want to make the playoffs. What would be a great season in your own mind? If this happens, this will be a great year.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think I said earlier, just kind of getting over that hump, right? I mean, you got to beat the Carltons. You got to win those non-conference games just because they count for strength of schedule and for playoff implications. So I think if we can be undefeated going into Johnny Week, whether I think that'd be 4-0 or 5-0, and have them come into our place. And then if we can get by St. John's and the way it works with the division now, it's the crossover game at the end. So essentially that St. John's game, I mean, it counts, but the Bethel game is the big one because they've been the best in our side of the division. Our side of the conference. So anytime you can have a winning record going into that game, them and Augsburg are kind of like the big ones on our side of the conference. So I'd say beating them and then, giving ourselves a shot to play for that 1 seed and play for that conference title.
Couple minutes left here with Cooper Mattern. You mentioned earlier the renovations going on. Give me just as a team yourself, just the new turf and lights coming in, how much that can change things as a program.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, turf was definitely needed. It was definitely old, and the lights especially. Yeah, it'll be great. I think hopefully one day they'll be able to get a night game at the Jake.
I was going to ask you that. It's not going to happen this year, but what do you think that would be if there's a night game there?
I think that'd be sweet because I think the Northern Sun that starts they always have their first game on Thursdays. So I think if we're able to do maybe like a Thursday game, you probably couldn't do Friday with high school, but a Thursday or a Saturday night game, I think would draw a lot of a big crowd there in Moorhead, especially if there isn't, if the Northern Sun's playing that Saturday and you have Moorhead State playing Thursday and you get us playing Saturday, I think that would draw big. But yeah, the guys are definitely looking forward to the new turf because it was definitely needed and we're fortunate.
I have an email that comes in to ask. I know the answer to this, but I'll let you answer. Where were you on the field when Emmett Kenny kicked his 58-yard field goal?
That's good. I was actually the holder,
Yes.
and about 20 seconds before that, it was 3rd and whatever,
Yeah.
27,
Yes.
17, and I looked up at the field goal, and I saw Emmett walk out, and I was like, "What in the heck are we doing here?" And he came out, and I was like, "All right, man, let's do it." And yeah, that's a good memory right there. That's awesome.
What? So he kicks it. So are you looking right at, like, what was your position after Emmett kicked it?
Yeah, so I think we were, if I remember correctly, it was right hash, and it was 58 yards. And geez, I don't know, man. It was all kind of a blur just because we all knew. We didn't know at the time that it was a state record,
Yeah.
but well, I don't know. It was Cheyenne, so it was a close game. We went
Yes.
out there and yeah, put the ball down and good snap, good hold, and obviously he drilled it. So just looked up and saw it go in. I was like, wow, that just happened. So that was great.
Your dad told me that night he had no hesitation. Emmett was going out there to kick that ball. Like
Oh,
that, it was
100%. Yeah,
100.
yeah, the progress he made going in from his junior to senior year
Yeah.
and where he was at going into that senior year. I mean, it was such a weapon to have him. I mean, he was good from in practice. He was good from 60 plus.
Yes, he told me
And
that.
the following week, we put him out. We played Red River the following week, and we put him out for a 60-yarder. It ended up getting blocked, but I mean, sounded the same, looked the same, and who knows if it would have went in. But
Yeah.
yeah, that 58-yarder was one for history for sure.
Hopefully, we'll get to see him kicking here pretty soon with Stanford. That was amazing, amazing night. That was great. It's great to see you, bud. Hope you stay healthy this year. Good luck, and we'll talk soon. All right.
Absolutely, I appreciate it, Dom. Thank you.
Cooper Mattern, senior quarterback at Concordia. The Cobbers open up fall camp next week on Tuesday. Anticipation of the season opener against Wisconsin Eau Claire. And he mentioned a road trip out west as well, out to the state of Washington before they get into MIAC play. It's beyond our hope that one day, it's been now, what do we hear, 18 years, that the Cobbers and the Dragons could play football against one another. Maybe we can have that happen. I don't know. We'll break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour one. Big second hour on tap. Hot Mike rolls on this Thursday morning. We're back after this.